Alrighty, this is the very first MotoVlog, I guess, of Fast Bike Slow, or is it Slow Bike Fast? I don't know, I'm kind of dyslexic. So anyway, we are about an hour outside Tokyo and heading up to the mountains right now. I'm trying to I'll actually figure out what the mountain range is called and put that somewhere in the video. So basically, this channel is going to be all about Japan and how motorcycling in Japan works and some of the differences between Japanese culture and American culture, westernized culture I should say, and pretty much going through the motions of how to get licensed, how to register your bike, insurance, how all that stuff works and how different it is, as well as just driving around Japan but actually going to certain places, certain destinations. Definitely exploring the food and the scenery. Those are two of the things I enjoy the most, and I think, and I hope, you guys enjoy them as well. So those are some of the goals of the channels, to bring the different perspectives of living in Japan and motorcycling in Japan to the YouTube MotoVlog world, and put out a couple videos and see what happens with them, and take it from there. So I hope the reason why it's called Slow Bike Fast is obvious. Right now I'm on my second bike actually. We'll go through the story later of my first bike, but this is a 2014 GSR 250. It is basically the same thing as a GW 250, except over here in Japan in its native market, it's called a GSR. Pretty much the only things I've done to it so far in the 3 months that I've owned it has been just the full exhaust and just some other minor upgrades, like, you know, a phone mount, hand guards for the winter, and a rear fender delete. One of the other things that I did, which was one of the largest you know, kind of gripes of the styling of the GW 250, which was known as the Baby B King, I guess, in some circles, was the front fender. The front fender looks like they just had a bunch of extra plastic laying around and just threw it on there. So I also changed out that for a aftermarket front fender piece, which I feel looks a lot better. So hopefully you guys do too. We'll do an overview of the bike either later on in this video or in a different video. Haven't made up my mind yet. Just depends on where this one goes. So today we're actually going to be trying to get up to the mountains and up to the lakes up here. So basically this area we're in right now, as at least hopefully most of you know, Japan, like most islands in the Pacific, are former volcanoes. Some of them still active, obviously. But so up here in these mountains, there's a series of 4 or 5 little lakes up here, which is basically where the crater, for lack of a better term, of the volcano used to be, and now it's they filled in with water. And it's actually some pretty good views and pretty decent drive up there if I can remember the route. So obviously you guys can see in Japan we do drive on the left hand side, just like England and some other countries. For me this was seamless coming from England, which was where I was previously working. Some of the things to note that you can do here that pretty sure that you can't do in the States, with the exception of California maybe and some others, is obviously the lane splitting and coming to the front of the line. One of the things they also do as well, which I'm not sure how legal it is versus what is commonly done, because, you know, anyone who's lived any amount of time knows that there is a difference between what is done and what is legal, is in traffic they will actually straddle the line. I think some circles call it white lining. So if the traffic's going slow, say like 20 clicks or something, the motorcycles will split in between and go on a little bit faster. I'm not too comfortable doing that yet, just because I have only been riding for 3 months. But some of the lane splitting, typically what I'll do is I'll wait for someone else on a bigger bike to come by and pass me up, and then I'll follow them, just because that's a little bit easier. So these are some of what neighborhoods look like in Japan. This is cool, and everybody wanted to see this. I'm not lost at all, I promise. So as you can see, another thing too is, well, we also go in kilometers, so everything's metric over here, which just like in the States, a lot of people have the stereotype that everybody in the States either drives something like an Escalade or, you know, a Camaro or a Mustang, which unless you're in Texas, really, it's not the case. And same as here, most people drive the little K cars and not actual Skylines or anything as cool as that. There are still some cool little cars here that you can get and people drive that are actually pretty awesome. On the video you'll probably see cars with different color license plates, and what that is for the K cars, for the true K cars, if they're under 600 cc's like that guy right there, then the licensing and the registration, insurance, all that other stuff is just ridiculously cheaper than, you know, a normal white plated car. And even on the white plates, you have 300 series and 500 series, which is all based off the engine displacement and everything like that. When it comes to motorcycles are very similar. You've got your 250 class, and then from there it goes on up to, or you got 249 and down to 50, which those have the 50 and under, the 50 plates have the little pink plates, which just passed one, but I don't think you're able to see it. 250s like mine just have a regular white plate with no border. And once you get above 250, then it's a white plate with a green border. And there's all the different brackets and everything like that, price brackets that are different prices and everything. And I'll show you guys that in a later video as well. So 250, why did I choose a 250? Well, I'll head on real quick the insurance and everything like that. So depending on what state you're in or what country you're in and you're watching this, you may or may not have vehicle inspections. Those vehicle inspections are pretty pricey, pretty in-depth, and depending on where you are, they're either 1 or 2 years in between inspections, depending on how old the car is. Some places like Germany and England, the cars, you know, any car that's over 4 years old, it's got to get its inspection done every year. So one of the things with driving or riding a 250 is you avoid the inspection. The fees are pretty minimal. I think I was able to get this thing registered, insured for the year, and all the other paperwork fees for under $350 or so. Whereas my car, for instance, right now I drive a Subaru Legacy wagon, which I highly regret buying, and that's a 300 plate, and I think it was about $600 total to register that. I know that's kind of comparing apples and oranges. But yeah, so you escape the JCI thing, so you don't have to remember once a year that your stuff will expire. And in all honesty, the 250, it does 80% of what I need with the commuting and all that. Where it lets me down immediately is the expressway. The speed limit's only 80 on there, but if you have any mechanical sympathy or empathy whatsoever, yeah, it's begging for mercy. I am looking at getting a 400. This is a great bike. I love it, I really do, for what I need, but in certain departments it is definitely lacking. Braking is one. It is not up to the task of braking. Nice S13. Yeah, you will still see nice Skylines and Silvias around. It's just not, I think that was a Maserati I just passed. Just not what you would expect. Whereas if you go to Germany and you're on the Autobahns, you're going to constantly get your doors blown off by Porsches, Lambos, and Ferraris, Audis, all sorts of awesome looking cars. Alright, which way should we go? And we're actually going to follow him because he looks like he knows where he's going. That was a good decision. Alright, so literally slow bike fast there. I do still need to work on my shifting, so yes, I am aware of that. Oh yeah, monkeys. Hopefully we see some monkeys today. That'd be cool. So one of the other cool things about Japan is that it is just like everywhere else in the world, where the higher up in elevation you go, the colder it gets. And I don't have my liners in, so that's awesome. Oh, there we go. Cool little lake. I prefer to wear sunglasses with helmets, just because A, I've got sunglasses to then be on the destination with if I don't bring my backpack with me. But also, I like to ride with the visor up quite often. There we go. Hopefully you guys can get a good view of that. But the downfall is those tunnels sometimes. So this is the road I was trying to get to a while ago. This is the 64. If you go to Google Maps and look at Tokyo and you just go